turning now quickly to the war in Afghanistan. In this week's version of Unplugged Under 40, Kaylee Hartung talks with Mariam Nawabi, a young woman who's made it her personal mission to explain the American presence in Afghanistan to her countrymen. Take a look.
Mariam Nawabi gives new meaning to the term modern American woman. She's a mother of two, a 36-year-old lawyer running an international consulting firm. She's commuting coast to coast, splitting time between Washington and Los Angeles, and somehow always arrives perfectly tailored. But how different her life story could have been. She was born in Kabul, and her family fled when the Russians invaded Afghanistan.
Being disconnected from a country in conflict, you do feel the need to go back and do something. We feel very lucky to be an American and have the freedom and rights that we have here, but you don't want to forget about the people who didn't have as good of a situation.
So Mariam went to work. As the U.S. government pours billions of dollars into Afghanistan, Mariam is trying to connect and explain her adopted country to the Afghan people.
And then there's a lot of misperceptions then about what the U.S. as a country is doing. So this is one of the few programs that's actually covering these topics directly for the Afghan people, but from the United States.
President Obama's new strategy is to...
Her weekly half-hour public affairs program is produced in America and broadcast to 2 million people in Afghanistan every week.
We do get a lot of older viewers who say, this is the only source of information that we get from the U.S. that's specifically targeted to us, that's speaking to us, and not just talking about us.
Older viewers may be a key demographic, but nearly half of Afghanistan's population is under the age of 15. And Mariam is making a special effort to reach out to them, too. After every broadcast, more and more young people are connecting with her on Facebook and talking with her on Skype.
I'm just the connecting point for their curiosity about the United States, because I'm Afghan and I'm American, so they can relate to me. And so they ask questions. The messages I get from youth there are that they want education. They want to learn something so that they can help rebuild their own country.
It's become a two-way street. On TV, she's trying to help Afghans understand Americans better. In Washington, she's organized a group of Afghan-American professionals to help explain Afghanistan to American policymakers.
Because this is a counterinsurgency and our goal is to bring some stability in the country, we, I think, as Americans need to invest our dollar more wisely. And, there is some level, again, of troops that are needed, but there are other ways, I think, that we can be more effective. The solution, I believe, to terrorism is not more conflict. We have to get to the cause of it, and it's poverty and lack of education. And those are achievable goals.
The role of an activist comes naturally to Mariam. Her father founded the Nuristan Foundation, educating children in the most rural parts of the country and training midwives in areas with one of the world's worst maternal mortality rates. More recently, she and her sisters created Artisan Sarai, an organization connecting Afghan artisans and their crafts with the West. Mariam says her work has convinced her of one thing. Military help may be necessary, but this war won't be won on the battlefield.
This is a new type of war. It's not conventional warfare anymore. It's about dealing with problems like governance and poverty. And that's why it is more complex and it will take more time. And I think the American people have to be more patient and understand that it will take time, but that it is achievable and progress has been made.
We always hear that one person can make a difference, but Mariam Nawabi shows us just how true that is. For Washington Unplugged, I'm Kaylee Hartung.